You're watching Moms Matter virtual episode at EverTalk TV. I'm your host, Shirin Yadigar, and I have the beautiful Jessica Serfaty here with us talking about the love languages. We're so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
So tell me, Jessica, what is it to know the different love languages and how many are there?
So there are 5 love languages. It's words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch.
And how do you know what your partner's love language is?
That's actually very hard, and often we miss it because we think that their love language is what our love language is. So if we feel good when someone walks behind us and rubs our shoulders as we're eating or on the computer, then we're going to think what they love, how they feel loved is through touch as well. Or if whenever your partner, cuts out time in their day to sit down and just look at you in the eye and talk to you, that's filling up your love tank, right? You're feeling, for example, when you're watching a football game and you're just conversing with one another, you're in the same room, that's often mistaken as quality time. Whereas it's not. Your love tank is not getting full just because you guys are in the same room together, you're watching a movie together. This is not really quality time. And so to find out your love language of yourself and your partner, you kind of have to do some digging and just play with all of them and see. It's just kind of like being very vulnerable and honest with yourself and figuring it out for yourself. It's really not easy. There's a book. This is the book, The 5 Love Languages, that I read 10 years ago, and I'm picking it back up to read it again because I needed a full refresher.
Tell us what your love language is.
My love language is quality time. So I love quality time. And for me, that's whether we're working out together, he's helping me cook dinner, we're just having a glass of wine, looking at each other on our balcony. He's, asking me questions more than just like, how was your day? How did your phone calls go? Like, these things are so surface. It's really nice when you can break through that and you feel like you're, diving into one another on a deeper level. Gardening, this is all things that for me, I feel like I'm so loved. My love tank it's full. It's on full.
And can you have more than one love language?
You have one primary love language. So one speaks and resonates with you more than any others will.
All right. And what's your partner's love language?
His is quality time. And fortunately for me, but falling underneath that would be words of affirmation. So as I say, you have one primary, you can still have one that you'll have one that kind of supports the other, right? But we're actually doing this together. So as I've done this is the first time he's ever done it. So I think we're still figuring out what his is, because this week where I felt the whole reason we did this again was I felt like even though we're in quarantine, we're living together, he's doing his work from home downstairs, he's coming up and checking on me 5 times a day and, giving touch, word, telling me how much he loves me and thank you for the breakfast. All of these things are being checked, but we weren't getting in our quality time because this week required him to have his focus at his work, which was downstairs in the office from 6 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. So we were really missing this quality time. Even though we'd have a bite together in the evening, maybe watch some TV and go to bed, we weren't, whereas we normally make time for each other where we cut out this hour a day and we just talk. And we're sitting across from one another, or we're going on a walk around the neighborhood. And so I started to feel, I was like, why am I feeling distant from my fiance? When we're living in the same house, he's so loving and kind when he comes up and sees me, but I'm just feeling so distant. And when I relayed that to him, he was so confused because he's like, really? You're feeling distant? I mean, I'm coming up, I'm kissing you 5 times a day. I'm doing this. And so then it forced me to take a step back and say, why are we not connecting? Why am I not feeling connected? And so when I went back and I were rereading the book all over, I was in shock at how I had already forgotten that one language, just the quality time, can fulfill all my needs.
It's incredible how important that is. And if you're in tune with it, how different your relationship is. It's just it's a game changer.
It's a game changer. It's night and day. Your needs are met, their needs are met. And from that, you both feel loved and seen and heard.
So because your love language is quality time, you've actually carved out an hour daily where you really do tap into that and make sure that both of you are getting your love language, which luckily is the same thing.
Yes, exactly. So we have set, no matter what happens, an hour, whether that's cutting out an hour of sleep, whether that's cutting, I even said, if you have to sacrifice, like a man's needs often, like sleep, eat, sex, work. And I'm like, even if we have sex every day, let's say, if you cut out sex, which is a man's primal need, every other day to make sure your needs are met, if he doesn't have time to cut it out elsewhere, it has to be done so that both of you are thriving.
Right. That's such an important point. So for people who have never heard about love language, how do you find out what your love language is?
I think, because it took me a few times I thought my love language was one thing and so I asked him, let's say, like, I thought my love language was words of affirmation. So he kept pouring onto me words of affirmation and I just wasn't feeling full. And that was how I learned, by failure, because I thought one thing. So it's just trial and error. I think you guys take time to implement each one into your daily life. And then that way that's how you find out what your love language is. There's also a test that you can take that say, like, whenever your partner does this for you, how does it make you feel? What do you crave mostly every day? What do you find yourself asking for from your partner? Like, do you find that you're asking your partner to, show you more affection? Physical affection? Do you find yourself asking your partner, you think it'd be nice if they gave you flowers, or if they left notes for you? Like, that would be receiving gifts. And that is, I think, another quick and easy way to find out what your love language is.
Amazing. So if you had to leave all of our viewers with one bit of advice on, really tapping into your relationship and tapping into your love language, what would it be?
As much as you want this for yourself, as much as you need the love language for yourself, you'll realize by sacrificing so much and giving to your partner their love language, you're gaining it. Everything that you wanted, you will receive from doing this as well. This has been, I truly feel like figuring out your love language is the key to a successful relationship. I think that it can take you from the honeymoon phase and keep your love alive through, a lifetime of marriage.
So beautiful. And I hope that you'll have a lifetime of happiness with your fiance, and that it's a beautiful thing too. Love languages can always change over time as well, can't they?
Yeah, they do. They do change. So at one point, I think that's why I thought mine was one, because years ago when I had done this, it was. And now, here 10 years later, I'm a very different woman. And my needs are met completely different.
It's important to constantly be tapping in with yourself and to do the work. Otherwise, we kind of lose ourselves and our relationships will fail.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you for that. I think that's such a great thing for us all who are still observing the stay at home and we're in quarantine. To be able to tap into our love languages and work on our relationships is huge. So
I feel like there's no better time to work on yourself than right now. So I encourage you all to do so. What's more important than, your then your relationship, love is where you find your happiness. I believe it's my drive in life.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us.
Thank you, Sharon, for having me.
Your wisdom. You're such a beautiful soul and a beautiful person. And I wish you all the best with all your love languages.
Thank you, guys. It was such a pleasure.
And we'll see you all next time right here at EverTalk TV.
Take care.
But don't leave, because I know that you had questions.